This conference will
Meeting.
now be recorded.
Thank you, Susan. And I'm required to, as usual, ask everybody just to recall where their emergency exits are. And I'm glad that brought a smile to at least one face. And are there any pecuniary interests to be declared at this time? Noting that such interests may be acknowledged at any time during the meeting. Seeing none, I would draw your attention to the agenda. No, let's, yes, so are there any comments on the agenda? Any wishes to add anything?
So I'll move that we approve the agenda.
And I'll
Moved by
second it.
Bob McCray, seconded by Jerry Reed. Thank you very much. So we have a set of minutes from the last meeting. Thank you very much. Are there any changes or suggestions to be made on that? I will draw to Susan's attention a couple of typos. One on page 2 towards the end. We are not loosing agricultural land, we are losing agricultural land. I think that's what Jerry said. So there's a correction of the spelling of losing to losing. And on the third page in the middle of it, Jerry also spoke and drew our attention to the Lear study that had been done by the town of Mono. That's spelled capital L-E-A-R, not L-I-R-E. And that definitely needs correcting.
Thank you, John.
Other than that, are there any other corrections to be made? Seeing none, Brenda, would you move the minutes?
Certainly, I will so move.
Moved by Brenda, seconded by
I'm happy to do that.
Bob McCray. Thank you very much. Which moves us on to the business of the day, which is application number B0521. And in as much as the Mr. Trotman is not here, could I, whoops, spoke just momentarily too soon. Good morning, Mr. Trotman.
Morning, John. I had a bit of, you got my email, I trust. I had a bit of a issue trying to get on, but I am here now.
Very good. So you're just in time. We've gone through the preliminaries and we've just opened the matter of the application B0521. And thank you very much for sending out this morning the planning report on this matter with a possible resolution laid out, which is appreciated. Perhaps you would like to make any comments at this time that you like, Mr. Trotman?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair, and to the rest of committee. First of all, thank you for making this meeting happen. I'm sure the applicant and their client are happy that this can be dealt with. So these things do happen where there gets a mix-up or error in the procedure of how deeds are transferred. I think I pretty much laid it out in my report. It's a little bit technical, but it's not too hard to understand. There's provisions in the Planning Act that require where a lot has been severed and is conveyable but owned by the abutting owner to have a procedural order of transfer, and this one got mixed up. Now, in speaking with our realty solicitor, we have two solicitors, as you know. Thompson Rogers deals with municipal work, and then we have Patricia Ward, who deals with realty-related matters. I've got a knock on the door. Just a second.
I did find the letter submitted by Arlene to be most informative. Thank you very much. Touched on a couple of things and at least clarified one matter that I've been looking for clarification on for some time. If you turn your mic on, Dave, that would be appreciated.
Right. So sorry about that. I had a courier delivery unexpectedly at this time. Anyway, there's two aspects. One can be a issuance of the transfers in the right order, or a validation of title. And the first option is apparently not feasible. So the validation of title is the only other option. And that's what's laid out in my report. I just want to clarify too that we did get the fee and the deposit from the owner, so thank you. And I think that solves, probably should solve the second condition. There will be some costs through our realty solicitor to deal with this, and that will come out of the deposit. And the last one I note about the survey, I haven't had a chance to speak with her whether she needs to see it or not, but if she does, then we need to get the draft survey as well. And that's a condition as well, condition number 3. So I'm free to take questions if you have any. I know that the applicant is also online and will give a short presentation on this matter. And I see Arlene's there.
Before I leave that matter, Dave, am I reading this correctly that the line of severance is the original survey line dividing the 100-acre parcels in the original fabric?
That's my understanding, per the severance line from 1982. I believe it was 1982.
Yes, that's right. And is it not taken for granted by many people that those lines don't need to be resurveyed? Or are you've written
true.
your recommendation as sort of allowing it to be waived if it's not necessary?
Correct. So it's more out of abundance of caution should that be needed in order to finalize the certificate. I'm just not sure, so that's why I put it in there.
Okay, very good. So with that being said, are there any other questions of David before we go to the applicant? Seeing none. Nipun or Arlene, do you wish to say anything additional?
I just have very short presentation. As you noted, I sent quite a detailed letter. First of all, I do want to reiterate Dave's sentiment. Thank you so much for meeting so quickly for this special meeting to consider this matter. So as the letter indicated, the severance was actually completed in 1992. We had 2 lots of record for many years, both held by the same person, Clarence Rutledge, under 1 PIN number. I don't know when Mr. Rutledge passed, but I do know that his widow, Roseanne Rutledge, had the land transferred to her in 2019. Shortly after those transfers happened, the retained and the severed lands were split into 2 separate PINs, and the old PIN was retired. So far, so good. Everything is well. The problem comes in June of 2021. Roseanne Rutledge transfers the retained lands to my client, the numbered company, and of course, this transfer is in contravention of the Planning Act. It wasn't discovered right away, unfortunately, and so we are now here asking you to validate the transfer. And I did do a synopsis of how this severance from back in 1992 meets today's planning requirements to the province and the County of Dufferin and the local official plan. We have the solicitor for the transaction with us, Mr. Nipun Bajaj. So he's here to answer any technical questions you have about the actual transfer itself. And I'm happy to answer any questions as well.
While I have such an expert group of planners and legal minds here, was there not a magic date, something like 1982 or 83, at which time, by provincial law, all such properties, adjacent properties in the same ownership, were merged unless they were otherwise already established by consent? And can you remember that? This is a skill testing question. What date was that?
Well, first of all, I want to say I was in high school in 1982 or 1983, but I believe that would apply. But then we got the consent in 1992. So afterwards is when, so yeah.
So there is a consent in 1992.
92,
very,
that's correct.
Very good. I understand. Excellent. Any other questions that anyone has? Jerry, Brenda, Bob?
No.
Dave, would you like to comment?
To your point of history, that is true. And when I was in Barrie, this happened frequently enough. Not transfer validation. That did happen too, but where someone would buy two properties and not have them in different ownership names, and the next thing you know, they would merge. And guess what? Yours truly had to do a consent application to demerge two properties. So yeah, it was a common occurrence.
Do you recall that magic date when that happened?
Well,
You're gonna have to send you back to college.
Yeah, it was the 85. I do remember the 82 Act was involved with that, and I can't remember how long that happened, but there you go.
Fair enough. Enough said. Brenda, Jerry, Bob, would you like to offer any comments? We have in front of us, care of Mr. Trotman, a recommended resolution, and on page 3 of his planning report. Seeing no, Jerry, would you like to say anything or move a resolution?
No, I think it's a matter of getting on with it and taking David's report as gospel.
So Susan, you can note that the recommendation on page 3 of the planning report has been moved by Jerry, seconded
I'll second that.
Seconded by Brenda. All in favor? Seeing none against?
In favor?
Thank you all. Very good. Are there any other matters of business that deserve our attention this morning?
Nope.
Seeing none, I would ask for a motion of adjournment at 11:15 a.m.
Sorry, Arlene, did you have a question?
I was just going to say, I don't have Mr. Trotman's report.
Yes, I knew this would happen with the delay in the report. Let me read it to you.
Okay.
And
My apologies, Arlene.
And can I ask Dave and or Susan to email this immediately to Arlene? My apologies, Arlene. I assume that this has been
It was an
done.
oversight.
I will read the recommendation. The Director of Planning recommends, so it would be, support of the Committee of Adjustment, to approve COA Special 08-2021, subject to the following conditions. 1, payment in full of any outstanding municipal fees, taxes, or charges prior to issuance of any certificate of validation of title respecting 387 498 Mono Center Road. 2, written acknowledgement by the owner to fully pay for all associated costs incurred by the town related to this application. And 3, preparation of a OLS plan of survey to be submitted for the approval by the town, if required, by the town solicitor, and if so, at the sole expense of the owner. Are those sufficiently pro forma for
Yes.
applicants?
Yes, thank you.
My apologies, these were not shared with you in advance. Well, motion to adjourn,
I'll move.
Bob so moves, and Susan Brenda has seconded it. Thank you very much for your attendance this morning, and I wish you a good festive winter solstice.
Merry
Very good.
Christmas to all.
Merry
And-
Christmas, Happy New
Merry
Year.
Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Good day.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.